What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about when we could get Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, so some release date predictions for you guys. It's been a little while. It's been about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks since we've gotten any kind of news on Dark Road, which was to be expected, right? They even said after mid-February, and they're really weird kind of speaking, and that is actually what we got around February 20th, right? We got word from a thread on Twitter of, hey, here's some images, here's what it's going to be, right? It's going to be a Union Cross kind of add-on, but it's going to be now kind of 2 games in one. Here's what it's going to do, all this kind of stuff. Keep an eye on this thread for more information, all that kind of stuff. So, and it still says that, we actually got the name Dark Road, so we got that. They said that it's still coming out in spring. So, I mean, technically, making a prediction for when it would release, I mean, it makes it pretty easy considering we only have so much to go off of when spring is. Now, when it comes to game development and games just in general, when you say spring, it doesn't have to literally mean like the first day of spring or anywhere near that very beginning period. I don't know if late March even makes sense for a game like Kingdom Hearts. I think, well, even right now, right, depending on which day this video goes up, Xbox One has recently, at least, right, gotten Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind this past week, so it just came out. And I had even said this on my second channel, too. Everybody, for the most part, maybe not literally everybody, but a lot of people had already experienced the game or at least seen the game in some form. A lot of people, even that had Xbox One, I'm sure probably watched the ending or watched the important parts of Remind on YouTube or on something like that, right? But now, literally, anybody that could have experience in terms of, like, physically playing the game now can do it. So it makes sense to kind of lay off a little bit, to lay off of talking about it. Again, like Remind just comes out, maybe they have to patch some stuff on Xbox One, right? Like unexpected things that could potentially happen. But now it's out for everybody. Everybody gets to enjoy it. And now we take a little time off, right? Or Kingdom Hearts, takes a little time off. Now, something to keep in mind, and I don't know if this even affects it, but in my opinion, it's at least something to talk about, is Final Fantasy VII. Now, Final Fantasy VII's remake releases on April 10th, exclusively on the PS4. My question is, does Dark Road, does it have anything to do in terms of, do they think that that's an enemy? Like, you'd want to keep it away from that, right? And it seems like the way the release schedule played out with Square Enix, it does seem like they know they do not want, that's their decision. They do not want Kingdom Hearts around Final Fantasy, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because that's probably the same group of players. Yeah, obviously there are going to be some different sections there, but for the most part, you're dealing with closely related groups there. And I think there's definitely a reason. In fact, I don't think it's not been confirmed, but I think heavy speculation was the reason why Remind came out on PS4 first and a month early was to get it out much earlier, ahead of Final Fantasy VII, right? So, Kingdom Hearts Remind comes out end of January for PS4 owners, and then they have several months until April for Final Fantasy VII. So again, those are console games. Those are PS4 at the time, exclusives, right? In terms of Remind was the exclusive for a month, and then Final Fantasy VII is going to be an exclusive, I think, for actually a full year. But it's a mobile game. It's a free mobile game, and besides that, it's also a smaller thing. Now, that is not, and I'm not criticizing it. That is not criticizing, because it's not to say that it's not important. We all know as Kingdom Hearts fans, you need to play or watch. It's okay to watch. I know people tell you that's not true, but it is. You need to at least know what's going on in probably every single Kingdom Hearts game. Maybe there's one or two that aren't as important, but for the most part, you can't really skip out. And we've seen from the past games, right? Union Cross is a big difference maker. You kind of need to know what happened or some of the side things that they're talking about in that game in order to understand what's going on. They've been leaning into it heavily. And Dark Road, its sole purpose is to kind of finish it out, but to give more context to Xehanort, all this kind of stuff. So again, it's important. And it probably will be, and we've talked about it even on this channel, right? Where does it lead? Will it lead to a new game? It probably will. Honestly, it probably will. They're making it pretty clear they want to try and connect all of these things. So just because it's a mobile, and that's ultimately the thing, especially if it leads into another game, if its ending kind of signifies, hey, here's the direction we're going, you gotta think that it's aware that it needs people to be playing it, or at least people's eyes on it. I don't know how many people actually play it, but at least people need to be paying attention to it. And so the question is, does Final Fantasy VII's remake get in the way? I think this is a game that's like a late April game. That is my personal prediction of when I think this game would come out, Dark Road. I think when it comes to May, I mean, May is definitely a good one as well. I don't think this comes out in March. I don't think this comes out in early April. Again, specifically because of Final Fantasy VII. Maybe it doesn't impact it. Maybe they don't care. And maybe they think, well, the people are going to play Dark Road, we are not dealing with the same people that are playing Final Fantasy VII. But at the same time, you could even look at it in a weird reverse way where it's like, well, Dark Road is free, so like it's just an addition to Union Cross, so you have that, play it on your phone, do whatever. Whereas Final Fantasy VII's remake, like you gotta pay that. I mean, I've already pre-ordered it, like I'm getting it day one. I've already paid for that, right? So maybe they don't want Dark Roads to hurt Final Fantasy VII, which would be weird. I don't know if necessarily they think that, but it is definitely something again to keep in mind. May is fine too. May, there's really nothing coming out besides The Last of Us Part 2. May was supposed to be the month also of Avengers, and April was actually, late April, was supposed to be the time for Cyberpunk. So those are all cleared out now. Again, it's tough. We've never really covered, Kingdom Hearts is such a great entity, right? Because we've never had to cover mobile things on this. Of all the things we cover, games, movies, TV, music, all that kind of stuff, we've never talked about mobile games. So I don't know how they directly, relate to console games in terms of this kind of marketing and figuring out. But I do feel like late April is probably their target, maybe early May. When it gets into June, I mean, June is technically, from a like fiscal quarter kind of thing, June is still in that spring period, at least until like the end of June. So it is possible, but you have E3, I'm sure Square Enix is going to talk a lot about what they have planned for the fall and next gen, at least like early plans of what they're working on, right? So again, it's a mobile game. Does it get in the way of that? Not necessarily, but again, using that line of thought, you probably want people's eyes on it, so maybe you don't want to talk about it the same day you're saying, hey, here's the release date for Final Fantasy VII Part 2, right? That's a big thing, or whatever in addition they do, right? So I think late April makes a lot of sense. Still, I mean, you're not going to announce it and then it releases the next day. Even though it is a mobile game, you still probably wouldn't do that. They said to keep an eye on that Twitter thread. So I would expect news like soon. Honestly, I would expect news sometime in March, like the first couple weeks of March. Again, even the announcement, even talking about it, you'd probably want it to be at least a little bit away from Final Fantasy VII's remake. And at the same time, again, what I said in the beginning of this video, you got to give Remind time to breathe. Yes, again, most people already have seen it in some form, right? They've either played it on PlayStation, which did, I believe, sell. I think that's pretty obvious, right? It sold more copies on PlayStation than Xbox. Kingdom Hearts 3. So, and I mean, I assume Remind as well, but also the amount of people that have probably seen the ending and know what's going on. It's a lot, and some of those people may have said, hey, $30, I've already seen what I want to see, maybe I don't need to buy it. So, I mean, my point is, there's not going to be that many new people playing on Xbox One, but there definitely is. And again, there could be patch errors. And I get it, they're not the same teams. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like the team that's working on Remind is working on Dark Roads. That's not true. But it's all from a marketing perspective. You probably want to give people some time to breathe from this Xbox version of Remind coming out. Give people a time to play it. Again, get people back into Kingdom Hearts, and then it'll start to die down a little bit. And then right when it dies down, that's when you come back out and you say, okay, here's like the next thing. Which, as I've said, I do like that, and I think they have that in mind. I think they've done a reasonable job of this for all the years that we've had just no Kingdom Hearts at all in them. We had Kingdom Hearts 3 last year, Remind, and then the way they've done Remind is actually kind of smart too, right? Separating it by a month, giving PlayStation players enough time, everybody's talking about it, then it comes out on Xbox, and then in between that even period, you announce Dark Roads, and then that's going to eventually come in the spring. So it's like one thing, and then the Xehanort Saga will come out in the fall, right? So it's one thing after the other, keeps Kingdom Hearts around and keeps it relevant. It doesn't need to consistently be around to stay relevant because Kingdom Hearts fans are always going to be there and are so passionate. But I think Square Enix knows, hey, there's a lot of money in this. It's more popular now than ever. We need to keep giving people more content. And so we need to like have this kind of strategy of one thing after the other, which I know is crazy for Nomura, but they need to start doing that. And you know what? They actually have. So credit to them. So guys, again, my prediction would be late April. That's what I would lay it down. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? When do you think we would be getting Dark Roads? Keep an eye on this channel. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed and have that bell icon rung. I know we haven't done many Kingdom Hearts videos. Pretty much because it is a dead period for Kingdom Hearts, but we will be having more Kingdom Hearts videos as we get closer. We will be covering this game as well on mobile, so lots more Kingdom Hearts videos coming to you guys all throughout the spring, and anytime there's something Kingdom Hearts related that happens, we will be right there to cover it, okay? So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.